Today we're going to talk about perimeter and area. So we're going to talk about three shapes today. We're going to talk about a square, talk about a rectangle, talk about a triangle. Now when we talk about area of a square is going to be your length times your width. And it doesn't really matter which one you say is length and which one is width. Now the good thing about a square is actually they're going to be the same. So for this one I'm going to say 4 times 4. And get 16. Now when we do area, whatever our measurement is going to be that squared. Because we multiplied feet times feet. Now when we do perimeter, we're going to add up all the sides. But they didn't give me all the sides, did they? But what's special about a square? All of your sides are the same. So this is area. Area equals, and perimeter equals 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And that gives you 16. Now, whenever we talk about perimeter, it's just going to be feet. It's not feet squared because I didn't multiply anything. The squared comes from me multiplying. And if I multiply 2 numbers together that are feet, it's feet squared. If you multiply 3 numbers together that would be feet, it would be feet cubed. That would be if you were doing volume. But right now we're only going to deal with area and perimeter. So for my square, this is the square. We have our area and perimeter. That's our square. This is our rectangle, so let's write square. And this is rectangle. So for rectangle, we're going to do the same thing. For area, we're going to multiply my length times my width, 8 times 5, and get 40, and it's meters and meters. Since I multiplied, it's meters squared. Now this square doesn't actually mean anything about the number. So don't think I have to do 40 times 40 or any of that kind of stuff. This meter squared, the square just goes to the number of meters. It just means I multiply 2 together that are both meters. So for perimeter, I'm going to say 8 plus 5 plus 8 plus 5. So that's 13 and 13, so I get 26. And remember, you just write meters for this one. You don't have to put meters squared because you didn't multiply anything. So this one is for my rectangle. Okay, and last is going to be for my triangle. Now the triangle is going to be a little different because a triangle, your formula is 1/2 times base times height. It's 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to erase all this stuff so I can focus a little more on triangles. Triangles are they can write them a lot in different ways. Let's do this. So for my formula, it's 1/2 times base times height. Well, what makes a base and a height? It's going to be where you see a 90-degree symbol. You have to see a 90-degree symbol. That's going to be your 90-degree symbol, 90-degree symbol. With the 2 sides that touch, that are going to be your base. That's your base and that's your height. So in this triangle, my base goes all the way across and there's my 90 degrees and my base is 5. So I do 1/2 times 5 and my height is going to be this dotted line, which is a 10. Your height doesn't always have to be part of the triangle. It can be a dotted line that's included as long as it's one of the 2 that touches your 90-degree symbol. So for me, I'm going to do 10 times 5 and get 50, and half of 50 is 25, and those are meters. So you get 25 meters squared. Now the reason you do 1/2 is because a triangle, you're leaving off this part. So let's say this is my triangle, and this was 5, and that one was 10. Well, whenever you do this, if you multiply 5 and 10, you've actually found the area for this rectangle here. Okay, but I don't need this part or this part. So you're really only going to take half of it because these two together make up the triangle there. That's where you get the 1/2 from. Now they might write a triangle in a different way as well. But let's do perimeter first. So perimeter is going to be the same thing. Perimeter for this, you add up the numbers on the outside, 5, 6, and 6. 6 plus 6 is 12, 12 plus 5, you get 17. And it's just meters because I didn't multiply anything. And like on the last one, whenever you did the 5 and the 10, you got 50, half of it was 25, it was meters squared because I did area. Area is always going to be a unit squared. Perimeter is never going to be a unit squared. Now another way that they might draw a triangle for you is a special type of triangle. It's called a right triangle. It might look like this. In this type of triangle, let's say this is 8, we'll say this is 4, and we'll say this is 5. We'll say they're all meters. This is a special type of triangle. This is a right triangle. Whenever you have a right triangle, you're not going to have a dotted line because here's my 90-degree symbol, and here are my two sides that form your base and your height. So if this is my base and this is my height, to do the area, I'm going to have 1/2 times the base, which is 4, times the area, which is 5, times the height, which is 5. And these are all going to be meters. Meters, meters. So what's half of 4? 2. And 2 times 5 is 10. And we've already said it's squared. So I could also do 4 times 5 and get 20 and take half of 20. Half of 20 is 10. You can do the 1/2 however you want to. You can do it at the beginning or at the end. Either way is fine. So that would be your perimeter of this. That would be your area of this one. This is area. Okay? So that's your area. Now how would I do perimeter of this one? You're just going to add up the numbers on the outside. So for this you're going to add up, and I'm going to put 5 meters plus 8 meters plus 4 meters. So 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 and 4 is 17. I get 17 meters, and that's my perimeter. Rectangles and triangles, area and perimeter.